Hi. It's our fourth time. I hate how I say hi. Should we try hello? Anyway, I wish you guys would write me some questions. You don't know how ready I got to get basically torn apart, harassed, annoyed, even pissed off. But I didn't. The only people writing things, the worst thing written was, "You're an American, that explains it." Okay, that's cool. I mean, I don't know what it explains, but certainly from Detroit, it's sort of it's a weird gray area. And I'm here to talk about the blueprint. The name of the show is True to Blueprint. If you watched it from the beginning, then you know that. It was in the, the opening thing there. And sometimes I forget to mention that because the things that I'm hearing about, like today, and we played two great games. I'll talk about that in a minute. All I'm hearing is, we're letting JVR walk. I don't think we're letting JVR walk. I have done some research today with help from my wondrous staff, my husband Doug, who pays for all of this, and my best friend Mary Jane, who runs the whole technical show. And they've been digging up some stuff for me, and very honestly, I found that what Brendan Shanahan, and he will be called alternately Fearless Leader, and I always call him Brendan because I'm way older than him, and seriously, Shanny, everyone calls him that. What are you, Mr. Shanny to the young people? I don't get it, but it's fine. He's Fearless Leader, and he clearly knows what he's talking about. And he said, on the subject of affording players, that he would like players who want to have an era of experience with the guys winning. Okay, this is an extremely important quote, and he's been saying this from the minute he was hired. So when he went out and got Lou, it wasn't like, oh, did Shanny know Lou would make everybody shave and cut their hair and wear a suit? And of course he did. That's why he hired him. And he knows that the cap, which seems like it shouldn't apply to Toronto, like we've got more money than God, but it does anyway. And we have to stay within that, whatever it is now, 78,579, whatever, $1 million, which is, I think, what a third string player in the NFL makes every year. But never mind that, I'm getting blown away by contracts. An era of experience winning with the guys. Do you understand that Shanahan took a third pay cut in order to go to Detroit and have an era of experience? And it only resulted in 3 Stanley Cups. And during that time, he also won a gold medal for Team Canada and won an Olympic gold medal. So, gosh, what will Connor McDavid have? $12.5 million a year stuffed away somewhere because it doesn't cost that much to live in Edmonton. He won't have a Stanley Cup. He plays way too many minutes a game. He's averaging nearly 22 minutes a night. That's an average, which means he's playing more than that, okay? And that's how he's getting his points. But out of his 86 points, 33 points are secondary assists, and I've seen these secondary assists. So what Edmonton's doing to guarantee they can continue to pretend like Connor McDavid is he's a great scorer, okay? He's a great scorer. I'm not going to say anything bad about his skills around the net. But he is not a hockey player, not a 200-foot hockey player. I read his scouting report. They sold that guy like he could go into corners and come out successful. He can't walk down the street and survive a crack in the sidewalk from what I can see. He'd cough up the bloody puck. You know what I see? Edmonton getting beaten a lot with Connor McDavid standing in front of the goalie going, oh, I had a good view. I'm sure this isn't what Connor wants. He's always been a winner. But somebody needed to notice sooner that hockey boils down to more than, can you pass it to the right guy at the right moment? And can you hit the spot where the goalie's not looking? Okay, those are great things, but those are skill competition things. I also admit he's bloody fast. But I'm seeing some fast stuff, and I know that McDavid himself has been quoted several times as saying, Connor Brown is the same player as me, but he's out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, you mean on your line in Major Junior, Connor? Apparently that's nowhere for some people and everywhere for others. Look, all I'm talking about this for is for you to understand that Brendan Shanahan's blueprint isn't just about like, well, we'll get some good players, we'll win some hockey games, we'll get a great coach, maybe we'll win. Everybody has to shave, so makes it look good and we'll win. Especially old people like me who still think that that's a sign of professionalism. It's a sign of team that you all agree to live by certain standards. But then, there was a military draft when I was growing up. So I understood that people who were totally never going to cut their hair ended up, Uncle Sam had a different idea. Now, most of you are in Canada, I hope. I hope I'm not just talking to the Americans. That would be like, Anyway, but if I just talk to Detroiters who love the Maple Leafs or Buffalo people who love the Maple Leafs, wasn't that a trip? I swear, every time they showed any wide angle, I go, are we in Toronto? No, right, we're in Buffalo. It's so strange, okay? I love it, and I wish we could get that together for every rink in the whole, in league, because it's so much fun. And I know they give away tickets in Washington. Probably not for the playoffs, but because then all the politicians want to go and stuff. God, you guys have no idea how screwed up it is to be Americans sometimes. But I will tell you that it's an American idea that winning is a dirty word. This comes from sort of a apprehension of the discussion in the world to include feminism that's supposed to apply to everyone. See, my understanding was feminism was supposed to apply to me. It was supposed to empower me. And I've always felt kind of empowered by it. But now I'm finding out that if you can use feminism on anybody else, you need to. And one of these things, the idea, Don Cherry always says it's the soccer moms and the people in Hollywood. Don, you're not looking at it right. This is really the idea that when people start to get liberated enough to let a central authority raise their children, and again, I'm not saying this is bad, I'm saying we got to address some things. All the rules have to be the same all the time for those kids. And anybody who grew up with more than one kid in a family knows the rules were never the same for everybody all the time. There were standard rules that everybody had to obey, but there was always, your sister doesn't abuse that, so we let her do it. Your brother isn't smart enough to know that, so he's not allowed to do that. And those sorts of things go on. And when you get to daycare, there's no shifting rules. Because if there is, then everybody's going to feel picked on. And equality means everybody's treated exactly the same. So if you bring that into the idea of how the priorities go against winning, it's because people think that conquering someone is the only sign of winning. That's not true. Winning, as Brendan Shanahan's blueprint says, is about character. It's about showing up with a professional attitude towards your job. Dressed to do that job, clean shaven, because you don't get to have an identifier on the ice other than your name. You play for that crest. You're all part of a single thing. And when you're trying to blend into a single thing, and there's ample medical evidence this is not something trippy. It's about the speed your hypothalamus is vibrating. You all get vibrating together. You have what is called an out-of-body experience. And people call it an outer-body experience, okay, because I'm sick of it. What is your outer body? Your outer body has all your experience. An out-of-body experience is you're standing there looking at yourself. All right, so I think JVR is a guy who I can't predict what he'll do. But I'm going to predict right now Tyler Bozak will take less money to stay on this team. He doesn't hope to be this good anywhere else. He doesn't hope to be asked this much by anybody but Mike Babcock. It's possible JVR would feel the same way, but I also know there's plans to replace him always. Not just if he takes the money and runs. They have to. What if, his leg gets broken in 8 places? That's the kind of thing that you can't predict, and that's why when you're shoveling money out the door a year before somebody's even needing to earn it, I don't think it's the best thing for hockey. Anyway, this is true to blueprint. And probably be coming out with another one in a couple days exactly about those games. So I just wanted to talk. I'll be talking about money because it gets on my nerves, okay? Bragging rights over everyone forever. You can't buy that, Connor McDavid, okay? And I'm sure that it's going to come the time when he's going to be willing to take less money for a chance to win because he's won at every level. Then I'll look at Connor McDavid like the next Gretzky. And not 1 minute before. Okay, True to Blueprint is the name of the show. My name, who the hell cares? It's listed at the top, it's listed at the bottom. And probably if you make a comment, Dawn Marie Sargent will reply. And if you don't know who that is, just know she's authorized. Okay, like, subscribe, and guess what? Dislike. Come at me, bro, okay? Because if I don't get that, I really get crazy about what I'm going to talk about. And I get all pissed off at people who never did a damn thing to me. Okay, that's it for that. I'll be back. I promise.